So today I will going to talk about listening as acquisition from group 5. This video actually for my mid test, so keep watching. Language as acquisition is not about language production. It's initially about how we acquire the language or how we get the language into us. There are four stages relationship between listening and language acquisition. The first is what we hear and it's called listening input. After we hear, there is what we can understand from what we hear before. It's known listening intake. After we hear and get some important intake, which means some vocabulary that we don't know before, there was a language development or development process or improvement vocabulary, improvement language quality. That is how language acquisition occurs. So I conclude that listening as acquisition means that listening as a way to obtain language or way to improve our language quality by listen to someone or something, or we can say that listening acquisition learning about how do we get something from the hearing process. Listening acquisition very important for language development to take place more is recur than simple noticing features of the input. The learning has to try to incorporate new linguistic into his language repertoire. That is to use them in oral production. This process that mediate the incorporation of intake into developing system. There are three stages of language acquisition. The first is connection with the language, getting a sense of the language and trying to understand how it works. This is done through listening and also reading. The second is getting comfortable with the language, gaining a high level of comprehension and vocabulary, or using conversation and simple books or intermediate level. And the third is constant improvement, reading and listening with a good comfort and continuing to acquire new vocabulary. From an article that I found, one of expert, Tyler, identified a 5-stage process in listening acquisition. The first is stage 1, stream of sound. This stage is when we beginning in a new language, and we are unable to catch even a word that we listen. Next stage is stage 2, word recognition. In this stage, we start to recognize the word, catch the word from songs and many more. And the third stage is stage 3, phrase recognition. From this stage, we starting to hear common phrase like "Where are you from?" It can speed up automatically the brain needs. Our brain will automatically hear and comprehend some phrase. Next is stage 4, sentence recognition. After we pass stage 3, on this stage, we start to get some sentence from listening or hearing. And the last stage is stage 5, extended speech recognition. In this stage, finally we able to comprehend and get what we hear, and at least 90% from the 5 stages. We know that when we start listening, we cannot master it so fast. There is so many process that we need for get good acquisition when we listening something. Maybe that's all for me. I'm sorry if I do some mistake. Thank you for watching. See you next video. Bye.